Right, guppies are so cool, don't get me wrong, but today I've got a list of 6 fish for you today, and these are 6 fish that will spice up your tank, that are great tank mates with guppies. Either they've got a lot of color that will pop with the guppies, or they've got lots of personality. Assuming you've got a tank between 10 to 20 gallons, these fish are going to be perfect. Let's get into the list. Right, so the first fish on the list is called the Laetacara araguaiae. Now, a really weird name, and you've probably never heard of it. It is a dwarf cichlid. That's a really chunky little fish, and it's really beautiful. Slightly bigger, so definitely you want at least a 15 to 20 gallon tank, because they do get around 8 centimeters, which is pretty big. And they're pretty rare, they're hard to come by, but if you go to a proper fish store, there is a chance that they will sell them, or you could order them in. They are beautiful, and they got a lot of personality. Like, every time I go to feed mine, it always comes up to the surface, and it's found its own little feeding spot, and it sticks to it every time. It's amazing to watch. But yeah, they do great with guppies. I've had guppies with my Laetacara araguaiae. No problems at all. Yeah, the guppy's got the color and the Laetacara's got the personality. Literally everyone that looks at that tank, they always comment about the Laetacara before anything else. So really cool fish and worth looking into. Right, number 2, and this fish will probably catch you by surprise, but we've got the Peacock Spiny Eels. Just like the name, they are a really cool fish. There is a couple things you do need to know about them before you bother going into research about them. They are an eel, not like the Coolie Loach, a bit different. A bit more like a moray eel, but freshwater, and really small. These ones are like a dwarf version. There's like really large spiny eels out there, but these guys only get around 10-12 centimeters, and they're great for anything 15 gallons and above. Now, the thing with spiny eels, I failed at keeping these fish. They do need live foods, which is like live blackworms. If you already culture live foods for other fish, if you're breeding fish and that sort of thing, then yeah, you can get some spiny eels. You could look further into it. You could probably buy some that have been bred and raised to eat frozen food, because they do that now for fish that are a bit finicky. If you think it's worth it, these fish are really cool, so I wouldn't be surprised, and it's something really different to anything else you can really get for a small freshwater tank. All right, number 3, we've got the neon green Rasboras, another unique little fish that is actually making its name into the hobby. A lot of people are keeping them, making aquascapes for them, and they're getting really popular. I think they've been recently discovered, I'm not sure, but yeah, they're beautiful little Rasboras that don't get very big. They get about the size of an Ember Tetra, maybe a little bit bigger. You can keep them in a 10 gallon minimum. No smaller though, because you do need a group of these. They are a schooling fish. It's a great way to fill up the middle section of the tank, because the guppies are usually at the top. It will create a lot more action in the tank, and it definitely got a really cool coloration that no guppy can replicate. So pretty cool, give them a shot. All right, number 4, we have the Golden Wonder Killifish. These are really cool, slightly bigger fish. So you're gonna need a 15 gallon or 60 liter tank, but yeah, they're very golden fish. They stand out, they look great, they hang out at the top with the guppies. They just add a whole layer of interest really to the tank. Just make sure you have a tight fitting lid, very important. I think when I kept them in the past, one of them did jump out. So yeah, just be very careful. Fit really well with a guppy tank, as long as you're not breeding the guppies. If you're breeding the guppies, these killifish have really big mouths. They're gonna treat all the baby guppies like a seafood buffet. Alright, number 5, we have the Scarlet or Tiger Badis. Either one works really well. They're basically a micro predator, full of personality and absolutely tiny. Now, these fish are great for 5 gallon tanks. They get around 4 to 5 centimeters, and they look pretty nice. If you get a pair, the male is beautiful. Female like brings out all the color in the male because he spars for her and flashes all his colors. So yeah, highly recommend getting a little pair. They might even start breeding, and you might have a couple survivors and you can sell them off. Up to you. Tiger Badis are going to get you into the more exotic, intermediate area of fish keeping. But yeah, they are pretty easy to take care of as long as you've got the right size food for the tiny mouths. You can just grind up some pellets, pretty easy. And one I'm yet to keep, but they are just known to be great tank mates with guppies. They mind their business most of the time if you give them lots of hiding places, and then if they do get a bit territorial, it shouldn't be an issue for the guppies. Number 6, and I actually had them with my Endler guppies, because they can go all the way into a 5 gallon, so that's really cool. We've got the sparkling Gouramis. Really beautiful fish. If you are going to keep them in a tank below 10 gallons, only one at max. You can keep them alone, but you can also keep them in big groups. It's one or the other. I absolutely loved my sparkling Gourami. They're really interactive. They don't bother the guppies at all. They just mind their own business, and they're another thing to look at in the tank. So if you really want to go for a multi-species tank and more of a community tank, yeah, sparkling Gouramis are great with pretty much any peaceful fish. And even if your guppies do have really flamboyant fins, unlike a lot of gouramis, the sparkling gouramis should not peck at the guppy's fins. Another great little fish that honestly does not get talked about enough. Last but certainly not least, we have the Splitfin Goodeids. Another live bearer, but it's becoming less rare now, quite common actually. They're quite different to a guppy. They kind of look like a platy, but they're not. They're a bit of a red and blue fish. They got lots of personality, and I believe they do eat a bit of algae too. They're not algae eaters though, but you know, good thing to know. Yeah, they get quite chunky, but you can keep them in a tank 10 gallons or above. So if you've got a smaller tank, with guppies, you can spice it up with some Goodeids. Fish that I haven't kept yet, I've heard are great tank mates, but definitely one day I'm gonna get some for myself. Don't just add flair in your guppy tank with fish, do it with plants too. Here on the screen is a video on 7 easy plants that you can keep with guppies. Add it to your guppy tank and mate, you just can't have enough plants. It's so good, check that out. Otherwise, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below. Other than that, I'll see you guys in the next video.